All right, so we're here. It's another week of, well, another week more so like another unof-
Round.
that another round, I guess. Yeah, another round of the TCG Love Talk, the series that was supposed to be bi-weekly, but due to
Man who needs scheduling, get me right.
says you who streams every single day. Yeah, I could.
Uh, None that fell through. It was
And
just whenever I decide to stream.
which is almost every single day.
Nah. 4 to 5 days a week is not every single day.
Okay, whatever. Whatever is it at this point? No one cares. No one's here for that. Uh, so we're here to talk about pretty
Yeah,
much
let me
two
split
things.
hairs every once in a while.
Yeah. So we're here today to talk about two things specifically. Uh, Build Divide's anime finally getting 2 episodes, and overdress getting season two, like first 2 episodes. And whoo boy, there's a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
So let's see. What do you want? What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Divide, or do you want to start with the dress?
I mean, you're the host. I'm gonna let you decide first, since you're more familiar with, I guess, Vanguard.
Let's see. Where are my notes? Yeah, I actually took notes on Build Divide. Let's start with Build Divide first, okay? So, and
Lighter topic, I guess.
yeah, a lighter topic, but still important for later. But so, for those of you who aren't in the know, Build Divide is a new trading card game produced by Aniplex. Hold on, let me pull up the actual
Yep,
information here.
Aniplex.
Not Build Idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Build Divide. Yeah, by Aniplex, Yuhoro, Lighten Films, Homework.com, Moto, and yeah. So it's a card game that's already out, right? And the anime showed like last week. Like the anime started last week. The episode 2 just came out yesterday. Yesterday today, and it's a lot to talk about considering it's coming into it's a lot to talk about considering it's coming to a era where there's like how many TCGs out in the open now? Like there's we have Vanguard, we have Yu-Gi-Oh, we have Weiss, we have Dragon Ball, Digimon. I was about to say Dark Souls, but
We cross.
we Cross, which is now coming in English. Uh,
Somehow.
Gate Ruler, which is somehow still alive.
Not really.
I mean, considering it could stay. The fact that it's not dead already is already a miracle. Let's be honest. Like not trying to be like the game itself, but more so just the entire like crap storm involving.
Right.
So it's just Jesus. Anyway, so when we we're here to talk about Build a Blight, specifically his anime, and then go into overdress season 2. And so we're gonna start with Build a Blight first, and kind of like our first impressions on the first two. You have seen the second episode, right?
A build divide, yeah.
Okay, good. So, so base. I'm gonna let you start off with your impressions. What did you think?
I think I'm feeling pretty positive about build divide so far. It's got a nice setting. The characters, I'm gonna say this: build divide is funnier than it should be, or it wants to be seen as. That's probably the show's saving grace.
Hmm. That's an interesting take on it. I was thinking about that. Uh, I'm saying this. Jesus, I'm dropping hard frames. God. Whatever. But it's like I'll say this. I do think it has potential, but I think it has like some issues that could come up and bite in its butt later if they aren't like done well. Because I think I let's start with the characters. I mean, it's kind of hard since we only have 3 characters. But I mean, not that hard. At least it's not like overdress where we got introduced with like 18 off the bat. but but it's like we got basically our 3 at the title where we have Teruto Kurabe, was it Kikia was the female character, and then we got Hiyori in episode 2. I believe that's right. Okay, so just thinking about that, I'm like, I like Kikia a bit, though she's a little, I think she's just kind of like a generic like sidekick. I think she's more of a generic sidekick than she should be, but it's still too early. We don't really have much information. I think that's one of the issues. Like, we don't really have like a backstory to our main 2 characters. We know Kikia has a wish that she wants to be fulfilled, and we know Teruto wants to go beat the king for whatever reason.
I mean,
outside of
there's
that,
a lot we can infer about the deal is with the main character. It's kind of obvious.
There's a lot, but there is, but I feel like another issue is he reminds me like of a. It's kind of weird to say. He reminds me of like a slightly boring. He's a mix between like Yoshitsuka from Look and Logic and Mika and Mikazuki, and it's like I don't know if that's actually gonna work if we don't get something from him soon.
I didn't get Mika vibes from him.
Yeah, he does get Mika vibes, and his backstory is very similar to Yoshitsuka in that, he's lost his memory and he's trying to reclaim it. The difference between Yoshitsuka there and Teruto is.
Wait a minute. Teruto. The Logic main character didn't lose his memory. Hold up.
Yeah, he did.
No.
What are you talking about?
He remembered the Hong Kong incident pretty well, actually.
No, he lost his memory but got it back, then lost it again at the end of the season. Or the end of the show, rather.
Sure.
So technically he did lose his memory. He just got it back later, but regardless.
He got it back like 5 minutes into that episode, is all I'm saying. Wasn't much of a memory loss plot, but alright.
Potatoes. But yeah, the memory loss is a thing. I think just the thing is like his personality when he's not fighting is just kind of is very Mikazuki like, and that kind of works there because there's like a bunch of personalities around Mika that like you didn't get like how do I say it? I'm trying to think. Like, it doesn't feel. Help me out here.
No. This is all on you.
Oh, come on. It doesn't feel like.
He's in the right show.
No, it's not. It's not that he's in the right show because this is definitely a show that could get edgy real quick. I'm not gonna lie. More so, the personalities for him to bounce off of, and like fulfill fulfill the differences in how his personality. God, I can't even do it. Forget it. I lost it.
I
I
mean, you
had
raise
it.
an interesting point. Like, his character interactions are very stiff with the rest of the cast, but not in a bad way. Not just to show his charm.
Yeah, no, it.
Because he comes off as completely insane in every single interaction he has with other characters. And the show knows it.
It's
He's
kind
written
of.
intent.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Like, he's being written and directed in an intentionally awkward manner. Everyone else thinks he's crazy.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
almost want to say he's like a Yu-Gi-Oh character trapped in a normal setting, but the setting's very much Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds.
I was about to say that I also get like some Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds feeling off of it too. So it was like it has.
He's not a fish out of water. He's a fish in the wrong fish tank. That makes sense.
Yeah, kind of. It makes enough sense. We'll go with that.
There we go.
So I think that's fine. I think I said my piece on Kikia Hiyori for episode 2. I think it's probably like the kind of like the best like character starting out so far. Primarily because we already know her story and whatnot. Which let's actually talk about that. The fact that the actual like world itself is just straight up. You have to be good at build divide, or else you just get sent to the slums.
Hyper democracy. The best term
Yeah.
anime's delivered us in years.
Mm-hmm. As if the parallels to Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds weren't enough. We literally
Although
have.
Yu-Gi-Oh 5 it's harsher than Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, you can still have a normal, wealthy life without actually touching the card game. You source runs on the card game, but you do not actually have to touch the card game in 5Ds. Here it's all build divide.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. So, what were my notes on that? Oh yeah, I said that I actually stopped writing notes before the episode really like got to the halfway point, but it's like uh the straightforward premises was like pretty okay. I just think I just don't know if the show is going to like actually live up to that promise it sets up. Besides it just being like the reason why our main character has to go and fight the king, which I'm interested in about why the king, what the heck is going on. Because
The main character won the event earlier, and for some strange reason wished himself to do it all over again.
Is that your theory?
It's pretty heavily implied.
Because if so, please no.
It's a very common fan theory at this point.
So what you're telling me is the theory is currently the main character won the last event, so he's technically the king. However,
Yeah, huh?
his wish is to reset and do it again.
Because he's a combat junkie, yes.
I don't know how to feel about that. Damn,
I'm
depending on
if you look at, there's two major details that lean towards it. I mean, three. Four, actually. Anyway. He's clearly way too good at this game too early. Two. Sakura recognizes his name from somewhere, which is really important. It's not just class register or anything. Three, there's a character in the OP with the doll of the main character.
I didn't even look.
He's been here before.
I didn't even look at the OP like that all the way. I'm gonna be honest. The song kind of like the OP itself just kind of didn't hit me. Like I don't know, it might grow on me, but it's like the song itself just felt.
It shows a girl in a suspicious lab with the doll of the main character. And we see him in some weird facility in episode 1, doing something, presumably facing off against the king.
Yeah. I mean, that's depending on how they do it. I'll either like it or hate it. So I'll leave that theory for for later and how that actually goes. So yeah, so
it's a fun theory to think about, though.
It is actually an interesting theory. What about let's see, but about like Hiyori in episode 2 gets introduced, and she is from the, I forgot what they called it, like the the kind of like the slums area, where she she was like, I don't want to die here, being this orphan, and so she picked the Build Divide to try and make a life for herself, which is kind of generic, but it's still more than what we've got for everyone else in terms of like a hard reason why they're playing the game and want to actually like get better at it. Because again, we know Kika has an actual like wish. We just don't know what it is, and our theory is that the main character is a lunatic. So, so there's really just like, well, shoot, we ain't got much. We got some, but not much.
That's good. That's good enough for us.
So, but yeah, let me see what else is on the notes. Oh yeah, the score was okay. I like the actual like music in the backgrounds, though it just kind of feels, the usual generic fantasy music or whatnot. But not bad, not bad.
No.
Oh yeah, the setup for the first fight felt kind of clunky to me.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, oh, you got Build a Fight too? Oh, let's fight. It's like, wait, what? And then she just gets trapped, and it's like, this the setup for the actual like tutorial quote unquote fight was just kind of like, huh? But I still did enjoy it. I just need to actually learn the actual. I think what's kind of the issue is I don't. I feel like the game has a lot of moving pieces that like one two episodes definitely isn't just gonna help me learn the game.
Really?
Well, I was more just kind of like, when I was kind of like half awake, but also like the second is, I feel like just the vibe it was giving off felt a little not soulless, but it didn't feel like it had. I didn't feel like it had the actual like
emotional impact.
Yeah, the emotional impact of like, well, why are we fighting? What are we fighting for? How are we doing this? The build up wasn't right, and so it just felt I wasn't really in it as much as I should have been.
I guess you could say you're divided on the build up.
Excuse me a second, I have to go drink. Okay. No, I don't know. So is there anything like you're thinking about that could like improve? Oh, let's actually talk about like the actual like fights. What did you think about those?
uh, the first fight was a little stiffer because of the tutorial nature of it. Well, not that stiff. There was some interesting strategy going on. Second fight, though, I kind of really liked it. Because it started playing off with the difference between a good player and a bad player. And interesting is the probability we're seeing every single fight so far. Like the characters are actually thinking about odds, the chance of things going well for them, and whatnot. Very contrary to normal card game dynamics, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's probably like, the one kind of like, I think until I like understand like the game itself, I think the one thing I can definitely like hook onto is like the fact that they're actually thinking, okay, how do I win here? How do I, you know, get a more advantaged board state? So I think that's one of the things that I actually like that's really good about Build a Fight is that it's actually thinking about the board state and like okay how much would be lethal everywhere else.
Like you can tell the Kakaguru guys behind this.
Yeah, as long as people aren't orgasming over attacks, we'll be fine. And we could just have this on like I don't know Toonami or something. We'd be good. So yeah, so I think just like outside of the weird nature of the game, I think the fights are okay if nothing else because of kind of like the thought process of everyone's like head. We're not just like slamming cards on the table and just going face and not understanding what's going on.
Right. You know, someone who actually understands the game and doing a good job of showing it off.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun way of showing it off. I just wonder if it's actually gonna come to the West, and also if ratings actually like increase for it, which we'll talk about in a second when we get to overdress. So
I
that's
mean, there's a good chance it's coming to the West. I mean, we have to think to ourselves. When has Aniplex ever, like, not licensed a hit for English release?
what has Aniplex been like done. Give me a second. Aniplex published games. Well, I know you say that, but they also did Tsukihime, which, in case you don't know, still ain't here. 20 years. 20 years to get that over here on an official release in the West, and we still ain't got nothing. Got a remake. Hell, the only thing we've gotten is only thing we have is multiplayer type Lumina story mode.
The West doesn't want visual novels.
That's cap. The West is one
No, it
thing.
isn't.
No, it is cap because if not, how did Danganronpa get popular? How did
Oh, that's easy.
how did all the other visual novel series like that got popular?
Let's look at Fate for 1 second. Fate did not get popular because of that novel in the West.
Well, I had to get a fan base to even like this. I know the real thing is straight up because
The anime and Gilgamesh memes.
yeah, I mean it's pretty much we all know it's pretty much because of Ufotable just spending all that money.
I mean, even before then, it was mostly cheesy Unlimited Blade Works memes being incredibly mutable online.
Well, that too.
Also, Danganronpa benefits from being a death game, which the West loves. Everyone loves a good death game series. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. Again.
Or in any other genre.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everyone's wondering why is Squid Game so popular. It was like, well, that's why.
It's a death game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Trust me. Ironically, another thing Danganronpa did, but that would go into spoilers.
I mean, look at Mirai Nikki. I think little piece of garbage.
Yeah, Mirai Nikki.
On all fronts.
People still remember Mirai Nikki. People remember Mirai Nikki more. Game. People remember Mirai Nikki more than Darling of the Franks. Keep that in mind. Darling Franks was a more recent one. Had a bunch of waifus. Had a bunch of hype behind it. And then this ending was so trash, no one cared. Meanwhile, Dinariki was trash all the way and never remembers it.
Yeah. I think you can write novels about how trash that is.
Okay, but I think we've gotten a bit off topic. Even though I don't remember what the topic was.
That's part of a podcast. I hope you recognize this.
Yeah, I know. But, what else is it? So... Jeez, I can't think of it.
Point being, I think Build Divide going to come over to the West eventually.
Yeah, I think Build Divide is too, and I think the anime has potential. I just want to see where it goes from here.
It's way too popular in Japan.
Is it?
Yeah. Like the actual game.
The actual game.
Stores are completely out of stock. Tournaments have been getting capacity limited. People are apologizing for not having enough Build Divide in stock. We're seeing $10 basic rares.
Jesus. Sounds like the original. Sounds like how Set 1 overDress happened. Just straight up like everything's out of stock. I guess.
They basically got the biggest MTG and Duel Masters YouTubers in Japan to show for it.
That's how you do it. So.
All they needed.
Yeah, so in order to get to the last little thing I want to talk about, Build Divide, I think it's time we actually finally move on to overdress. And
Yay!
I love how you say that because Jesus. Oh, someone's dog is upset. Overdress Season 2. We are at Season 2.
Yay!
After the if you want to talk about divide, Season 1 was a divide, alright.
Like, when hasn't the Vanguard anime fanbase been divided?
The last time since GZ. The last
2011, let's be honest. Let's be honest, 5 seconds.
You're right. It ain't never stopped.
No.
I guess what I mean is the biggest kind of like a more vocal, like, I guess like the most like vocal divide in the Vanguard anime community since like GZ, and like how that season kind of like floundered such great potential.
Yeah.
But you know, I digress. Right here. Okay, so we talk. So it's just a recap. Season 1 ended, in which the Masanori, Tamari, and Shinobu basically beat down everyone of Team Blackout. Yuya gets taken down by Atoya to protect the thing, and Donji is basically gone missing. And at the end of episode 11, he comes back. In episode 12, he beats Toya, and they have multiple fights, including including for some reason a fight in which Toy and Donji fight naked in a
He
time
loves the
slot.
Romans, as they say.
And so that ends, and Donji basically says, "I'm leaving. I'm putting Toya, the person who destroyed our place, in charge as my new successor." And everyone's like, "What?"
Huh?
And it ends basically with Team Blackout kind of like in this weird like limbo while Donji goes off to do something else. And so that's how season one kind of ends. It ends on a weird note, but it ends on
Nonetheless.
it ends on a note. And so we get to season two, and this to say episode one of season two was okay. No, I can't even say that. I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. And me and you have been divided on it, but we're just gonna say it.
Yeah, heavily.
But I think regardless of what our decision is, I feel like at the end of the day we feel like the episode was misplaced.
Yeah.
So I'll say my piece first. Try to bring out a little bit of positivity before you go and shoot it in the head. But I'll say it. After like thinking about, I'm like, I like the episode in a vacuum. However, there's a lot of issues with it that also gave it the entire like score it got on Nico Nico. But I understand. I just don't think the idea they were going for in the episode ended up doing what they wanted to. I feel like having an episode start off with Donji and Megami and them trying to like, Megami trying to like kind of, I guess, get over the fact that Donji's leaving, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna approach this. I feel like okay, let's start over and try this again. I feel like the episode itself, again, in a vacuum, is fine. I think the problem isn't so much that episode, but rather the other like Megami scenes prior to this, because I feel like we haven't really done anything about Megami herself, but rather her connection to Donji. And if you've been around the community since the end of season one, you realize the issue with overdress for like a lot of people right now is the abundance of Donji, or rather the abundance of people's like necessity for Donji to be around. And if there's a character who's had the most issues because of Donji being around, besides we'll get to him, is in is Megami, because it doesn't feel like she's had a character. Because I think like one of my least liked episodes is the episode uh between is the fight episode between Megami and Tamari, because I feel like the fight was unnecessary, or not the fight unnecessary. I think the fight is cool, whatever. You can have fights, it don't matter. The fights aren't the important part to me. The problem is the setup for everything.
Yeah.
Because that episode was effectively like Megami's. Was that Megami's origin story, kind of like her backstory?
We kind of got it, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of her backstory, involving like her and Donji and the glasses, and it was also involving her brother. And I feel like nothing. I feel like another issue is we don't know anything about Megami's brother either. It's like a lot of like the stuff they want to do with Megami herself is kind of messed up because I don't think they knew how to kind of tell Megami's story. Because I think the idea is they want us to be like, oh well, Donji is in her life because her Megami's brother couldn't really be there for her because he had to run the company, and so like Donji was effectively the surrogate brother figure for Megami, and so that's
Mm-hmm.
why she was upset with the thing. However, it always feels more. It always gives off this more. I don't know if it's the directing. I don't know if it's just prior used tropes in both the franchise and anime in general, but it always gave off this romantic feeling, like this feeling of like, oh, Tamari actually kind of uh likes Donji more than just.
You're doing a
But
Megami here.
yeah, it's she likes Nissan, but she also likes Nissan. If you get what I'm saying. So it just comes off as like I
Aniki in the streets, Aniki in the sheets.
yes, that works too. That works. That's fine. That is fine. We'll take it. God damn it. Uh, better than mine. Better than mine. So yeah, like, we were talking about Tsukihime. That's the Akiha route, all right. So that so it is very much a, I believe the the issue with the episode is so far back. They were trying to build on it with this episode, but it just didn't work because of those prior issues. So like I get what they were trying to go for and trying like you know kind of give Megami some sort of like closure so that she can like move on, but it felt so weird. Like I said earlier, like when the episode aired, it felt like a OVA episode that you would put at in like a Blu-ray, like on the lead into season 2, or like is an extra part of the season 2 Blu-ray. Something that just like it's a scene that the story overall doesn't really need, or rather isn't so important that they need to give it actual like screen time on TV. Because,
Yeah.
but it's like we'll put it here. But it's the first episode of season 2 after we had that ending, and we start with a very very awkward episode. So
Yeah.
that's my kind of like quick thoughts on it. All right, go ahead.
Alright. So I'm gonna preface this by saying this. All the episode may kind of slightly work in a vacuum. This shit ain't in a vacuum. I'm sorry. This is like part 4 or 5 of an ongoing character arc, the 13th episode in a soon-to-be 52-episode season. And boy, does it have issues. Like, the tone's all off. Like, even for overdress, the tone's kind of off. Like, it's a bit too somber, right? Like, yeah, so it's a serious moment. Blah, 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 blah. But the issue here is, we've seen Donji leave, like, 3 or 4 times prior to this moment. So the weight's off. Like, the weight's completely off. We've seen people panic over him quitting. We've seen them panic over him fishing. We've seen them panic over the instance prior to him coming back for the season 1 finale. And now we see him leaving again. There is no actual narrative weight we, the audience, are supposed to have here. Now we're at the first time, or the second time, and we're at the end of the first season. Fine. Maybe you can drag some little gasp, Donji's going away energy out of it. No. Wait, no. Not here. Not in overdress. We don't do good writing. We don't avoid repetition. We suck all that repetition in. All of it. All of it. Then there's the whole issue of the plot itself. I don't care about Megumi. I'm gonna say it. She's my least favorite character in overDress so far.
Don't say it, man.
Look, I can be honest. She is my least favorite character in this whole damn show. Alright. I like Yu more. And we get into that on the second episode. But Yu's fine. Danji, for all the problems I can get into later, they're emblematic in the entire series as a whole. They got fine moments. Megumi, though, she's had 3 focus episodes going into this. Not a single one of them hasn't been completely ridiculous. So I'm not feeling it. There's all the setup. And then what we get is some cheesy goddamn romance visual novel storyline for an entire episode. It's not good. It's not deserved. We barely hear anything out of Danji, because he's probably laughing his butt off internally while just trying to board a train. It's not good. It doesn't do anything for either of their characters. It makes Danji come off a bit more mature. That's the good news. It's it's a mess. The worst part about this episode, and I know I'm not the only one doing this rant, is that terrible monologue Megumi has to go on during the fight.
Oh, God.
From now on, every card game's gonna remind me of Danji-san. Oh, the feeling of playing these cards, of riding these units. Oh, Danji-san. No.
I can feel bro inside me.
It's maximum.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like what the hell's going on? You, who wrote this episode?
You know what the worst part is about that?
What?
This person's written some of the better episodes of character building.
Oh God. Oh.
And they wrote the second episode of the season. So somehow, this is some of their best work here. Some of their finest.
And even they couldn't salvage it.
No.
Oh God. Yeah.
Look, let me just say this right now. The Vanguard anime is lucky to be as unpopular as it is right now in Japan and globally. It is so goddamn lucky it's not more popular and watched than it is.
Why do you say that?
Because Twitter would have a field day with this any other franchise.
But Twitter would have had a field day with any other episode of this franchise.
Especially this one.
I'm just saying.
There's a whole lot to say about 20 minutes spelling a 16-year-old trying to romance a 23-year-old guy for 20 minutes in a card game anime. And this kind of target demographic.
Dog, this franchise is wild. People complain about anything, dog. I remember I did a 5-hour stream about a hour-long video in which someone complained that Misaki was showing her stomach in one of her outfits. That didn't even... Yes, remember the Speed Robo video?
Oh yeah, man, I forgot.
Not to mention, they failed to forget the same multiple I know you don't count the beach episodes, but dog, literally, there were literally episodes where Misaki was showing cleavage. There's some cleavage, and then there's the beach episodes where she's literally in some cowgirl bikini.
I feel like the difference is with those scenes that we're dealing with now, so they're not so totally off.
Oh, oh no, hold on. There's also the stupid complaint over. Oh no, she hugged Aichi, like held him close to her, and I dropped the show. Oh, there's a
Vanguard
reason.
fans,
There's a
literally
reason.
impossible to please.
There is a reason why this where I had to like this delist that from my YouTube, because I'm like, I feel like we went too hard on this, but then I put it back.
Yeah, I have to say,
Yeah, so
it's a mind thing. So how far we can go when we actually feel like complaining about something.
yeah, so there's that, and then oh yeah, continue. I think you still have more.
I don't have much to say about it. It's a complete mess. It doesn't fit. You know,
Okay, you want to bring up the ratings now?
you know what? Let me just say one last point.
All right.
If Megumi had any actual writing backed behind her, and she wasn't towing the line of being worse than Aoi's eyes in terms of writing treatment, maybe
Damn.
this episode could have been deserved.
Damn, you hitting both my girls today. Why are you doing this?
Zechs, you know it's true. You know it's true.
It's even hilarious because
Aizen had somehow gotten better treatment than Megumi.
it's even hilarious because her voice actor is in the show.
Yeah,
She's literally the main villain. So it's like, oh god. It's like, am I doomed? Just doomed to choose the worst character. Okay, so
I mean, you've been an Asuka fan for like 13 years now, I'm assuming.
who?
You're doomed. Asuka,
I'm not an Oscar fan.
Ava.
Oh, I'm cool with how that ended though, so I'm good. No spoilers for those who haven't seen the movie. I'm just saying.
You're one of the few rational people left.
Hey, I'm good.
Alright.
So
You wanted to move on to the Nika ratings, right?
yeah. Let's talk about the Nico ratings in Japan. So for again, another thing for actually post those in the voice chat real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, pick those up for that episode and the next episode too, to kind of like compare. I think I can find the stuff for Build Divides episode too, so the episode 1.
Yeah, let me just go find everything. I should actually have folders for this stuff at some point.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's like all in my downloads folder.
Oh, can you find?
By date.
Does the Nico have episode 2?
Probably.
For Build Divide?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, put those 2.
Oh, not for Build Divide though, not yet.
Oh, not for episode 2?
Yeah, I'll probably end up finding those later.
Okay. Alright, so I got the Build Dividing ratings. Is this who?
And that should be everything.
Alright, let me pull that. Alright, got the Build Divide ratings for later. Yeah, okay. So let's open it. So I'm gonna put these on screen. Where's the image? Okay. cannot do that. Okay, hold on. That's not it either. Yeah, okay. So yeah, let's put the image for overdress episode 13, and these are the current. Those are the Nico Nico ratings for episode 13 of overdress. So those of you don't know, over Nico Nico works on like a 1 to 5 scale. Also, that Nico Nico is also like one of the biggest, pretty much like the biggest streaming service over there in Japan. Kind of like it's
Yeah.
like another
YouTube
YouTube.
equivalent.
Yeah, it's YouTube equivalent. It has YouTube. So it works on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 being great, 2 being 1 being great, 5 being terrible. So, and pretty much you go based off like how much percent did number 1 get. This is it. So, Overdress episode 13, but in terms of like people who watched in Japan, gave it 37%. That's a bad episode. That's a bad rating.
It is terrible.
It is. And to kind of put in perspective, you also looked at every every other
Vanguard season they had on
Vanguard
there.
season, like excluding like a couple seasons. I think like you said, like some of G was unavailable and If wasn't there either.
No G, no F, and nothing from OG season 1 or Asia circuit. So about 4 out of 11, 13 seasons.
Okay, so excluding those 4 seasons, to put this in perspective, every single episode of Cardfight Vanguard has never gone below 60%, right?
Roughly.
60%.
Either 55 or 60.
55 or
like
60. That. And the only other episode worse than this was the only episode in the entire franchise worse than this was episode 1 of Colorful Pastrel. That also means the rest of Colorful Pastrel scored higher than episode 13. People were more upset.
There's one argument that can be made for how that happened.
Yeah, there were only 5 people watching Colorful Pastrel.
Yes.
But it's still just funny how, in fact, I think actually after going through it, also like if we go through every other like Bushiroad product, it's the worst performing out of any Bushiroad show. It has the worst rate.
Buddy Fight's ratings were.
I don't think Buddy Fight's ratings were as bad as this.
Oh no, I made Buddy Fight's like sky high. That's why.
And looking logic, both Hinalogi and the original, I think actually were scored higher in their initial run than this.
Yes.
That's embarrassing. That's the kind of actually pretty embarrassing. It's just like, dang, man, how the hell did this happen?
Okay, I got the ratings for Buddy Fight 100 at least.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, way better than overdress.
Yeah. So I think this is another thing. It's just like, and then episode 14 had a much better rating, which I think we can get to talking about episode 14 thoughts.
Sure.
Though just give me a quick second though. I had to like go use the restroom real quick. So give us like a 2-minute break real quick.
Well, looking back.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so now we can actually talk about episode 14. Let's get these ratings off the screen real quick. So let's talk about episode 14 of Overdress, which was aptly titled Reboot. So, I started off last episode. You start off this episode.
Alright. So I actually like this episode quite a bit. Mainly because it did a lot for our three characters of note here. Yu, Tomari, and Toya. Why? Because I'm getting more stuff to do. Actual things to do. Things that don't involve a certain, Donji-san. We got to see that Toya finally got knocked down a peg. Got to do more things to actually to be a normal person. Instead of a bootleg Yu-Gi-Oh character stuck in the wrong franchise. Yu got to actually do things more independently and on its own. It's nice. It was nice to see. It was wholesome. We get a nice wholesome bros dynamic going on here. And not one dude chasing the other big tall guy and doing everything the big tall guy wants / needs to do. Like some puppy situation. Great. I like it. There's not much I can say on this episode. The fight was nice. Yu's a better character. Toya's a better character. Tamari wasn't super annoying. She called Yu a cuck out of nowhere. What the hell was that line?
Let me actually. We got the screenshot. Actually, I'm ashamed I didn't actually think about getting it in the actual preview. Let's see, is it?
So it's a pretty hilarious line. It comes out of nowhere, but it's great.
Jesus, you talked about like 500 things. Alright, where? Okay,
I think I should have the screenshot somewhere.
Yeah, the screenshots I know is in Proofcord. I'm just like, how the heck?
Post it in the voice chat. Pretty good line.
Yeah. So you're the type who forgive a girl who cheats on you if she cries, huh? Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, let me save that in the actual. Desktop. Yeah, why didn't I not put that in the actual thing? I don't know. But it's in there. It's in there now. But yeah, it was a good line.
Like, there's only 3 ways to read it. 1, it's pointless. 2, it's more commentary on Yu's character. Or 3, it's foreshadowing. It could be number 3. Number 3 would be hilarious. We got 2 more seasons of Overdress after this. Let it be number 3.
Yeah, that'd be something. So, Oh yeah, any other things you want to say real quick to?
Episode good out of 10.
All right, so that's good. It's really good, and I also agree. I think the episode is pretty good. I think, I said it in the earlier segment, but like I think this episode just started. I think the season should have started with this episode. I think you should have put like episode 13 either as like. Honestly, I think episode 13 should have probably been like an early preview, and then you just start with this episode.
We have the internet. They have just slapped this episode on YouTube as like 12.5.
Yeah, because I feel like this episode actually like does something the season needs to do, which is start off by building on last season. season's ending, and it does it in a really nice way, and it doesn't in the way that uh, like a way like Kevin. I know Kevin Jones pronounces his best. Is like this is like an actual rivalry that actually really works, and
Mm.
I think what also makes this work is because every time Toya and Yu Yu are on screen, it's probably the best parts of this show
Yeah.
because those two play off each other really well and have an actual like different energy to them. So them now kind of like being part of a team now really is actually going to be a pretty interesting dynamic for the rest of the show going forward.
They feel like actual bros.
I wouldn't say they're actual bros, but definitely like they definitely have a synergy that I don't think Yu Yu and Donji had, or Yu Yu or any other characters had as great.
I mean, consider the following. You actually had the banter this episode compared to with any other interaction in overdress. You actually had bands.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Which I saw criticisms talking about Yu Yu and that Yu Yu felt like Yu Yu's personality kind of like it kind of increased over the time skip, over not time skip, rather the break, rather than just like it feels like a lot of. I think the criticism itself was more so. It felt like Yu Yu had developed over the course of the break, and we just never saw it, despite the fact it being like probably like a day later.
I mean, and I completely disagree with that statement. Because we see some of this in Yi's character, like in this episode, in season 1. Like, people forget he's the same kind of kid who actually buy an entire backpack full of water balloons and water guns. Nobody asked him to do that.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
doing
true.
that one Megami episode?
Yeah, probably the
He
best
just
Megami
came armed
episode.
to have fun. Like, I feel like that's the most important part of Yi's character so far. You put him in a setting where he's allowed to feel like he's able to do things on his own. And he does things on his own. He's a completely different character. Or at least comes off as one.
Yeah, I though I kind of understand. I get the criticism in this sense of the idea of he can't say no, and the whole like dress thing feels like it's kind of gone by the wayside at this point. Like, it feels like they kind of like have dropped that uncomfortability with Yu in the dress more so. They might still do something with it later, but it's more so like because in this episode he basically like wears it. It's at this point where it feels like he's wearing it as,
He's,
and he's not as
he's now
uncomfortable with it.
master of disguise.
Yeah,
He's just become a master of disguise now.
I don't know, but definitely it's like I feel like if if there's like complaint about you as characters, the fact that they still haven't done anything with that yet. So I get it, if that makes sense.
I guess. Honestly, it seems like a minor complaint to me.
I mean, it seems.
They're doing more of a service to his character now than they were before.
Yeah, I just think it's like, I think it's one of those awkward things where it's just like, you did it, but then you actually like changed how you want to go with the character. But in doing so, like, it feels like some people kind of got into the show for a thing that's not there. Right? Like
I mean, I see it's character development personally.
yeah, it's character development. It's weird, right? Like I'm not a. I'll say this right now, just kind of like the faces. I am not I'm not a LGBT person or anything, but I could get it from the stance of, oh, here's a boy who is kind of, cross dressing and whatnot, who is wearing a female outfit and everything, and they really don't do anything about kind of, about that story beat anymore, except use it kind of like as like a comedic punchline. Now, granted, it's not like something like completely terrible like other shows have done, but I could definitely see like, yeah, you've given you a bit more character development, but that little story beat feels it's kind of been thrown away when that was kind of the basis of his character, or at least the
Right.
basis of his introduction. So I'm not someone who can like easily go like, okay, here's what's happening. So I apologize if I'm taking it from a different stance. I wish he was awake. Because they could probably help a little bit on that too.
Probably.
Yeah. So uh, so that Yu criticism aside, I think this Yu this episode was probably the best he's been in most of overdress.
Easily. One, he feels like an actual main character in this episode.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's probably Overdress's biggest issue.
yeah, it's been overdress's biggest issue, and I recorded that episode. I recorded like a little like discussion on like episode 13 when it had originally aired, but I just never edited and never really wanted to release it. But I did kind of point this thing of, I felt like Yu Yu's character, Yu Yu's protagonist to me. I know people really like Yu Yu and not trying to be like negative on that, but to me, Yu Yu. God damn, they were wild outside. But like Yu Yu is probably like, and I say this like, I like all the protagonists of Vanguard. I like Aichi a bit. I like Chrono. Shin, Emi, Ibuki. Whoever one you want to choose for if. Kai. Whoever we want to put. I like all of them in different ways. But I can say as honestly, and I probably might do like a tier list of all the protagonists that are on stream, or like just do a video on it. But I think right now,
Let's face it, it's just gonna be Shin and Ibuki in S tier.
Shut up! You can't spoil it. But no, it's like I feel like Yu Yu is like the bottom two, and I feel like it's also like kind of like unfair because like every protagonist has got like 24 episodes to them to kind of like evolve and grow, and so there's still more time for Yu to probably increase on that. But I definitely feel like with the sample size we have now, he's probably bottom two.
I mean, we could probably compare like 13 to 13 on like
Like,
across all the
like
protagonists.
I'll say right now, I think he has the issue Emmy has. Whereas, like,
I
I
mean,
feel like
same for the main character.
Emmy as a main character, I think was okay. I just think the problem was the franchise never gave her anything, and so when she's having to like, especially a V, so when she's having to like try and like, I won't say carry a series because really the like, because the whole meme is basically Mama Rihanna was cosplaying as Superman during that entire season first half, in which she was trying to like salvage that show. So, but so I think Yu Yu has like a very Emmy like issue, but I'm glad that like there's more now.
I don't know. I would say the thing with Emmy is, and if at least you're supposed to treat her as a. If you look at Emmy as a completely freshly character, and if what she is, there's different context to the entire like season. Because he's not seeing anymore as less the main character, more another person on Ibuki's spirit quest that he's also supposed to be saving just as much.
Yeah.
It's a very different reading of the series.
It's very different. I think when I go into in more in depth about if maybe later I'll kind of talk about that because that is kind of like a thing. Because all four, yeah, it's a season worth exploring a lot. So yeah, sorry, I'm just like gold fishing over here. So I think my mic is actually picking up the sounds. Weird. So I let's go to my thoughts. Like I already talked about you a bit. I like how the team doesn't immediately forgive Toya. I like they want to see if he's actually like real or not. So like they like what's his name? One of the side characters. Like the team isn't even there.
Like there's two side characters see names at this point.
Like they do have names, I just don't remember their names. So yeah, they do. Like we, what was the name? Akane, the girl from that was actually doing the commentary for the Megami Tamari fight.
I mean, I know her. I
mean, like, we know her name primarily because she's like she's basically become like the Kumi of overdress. Where it's like,
how many episodes was she in though? Like one?
She's been like 3, but she's only had like one big prominent role.
We need more fleshing out for these side characters. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah, but
2 of them are those 2 cool dudes who don't say a lot. They're the real bros here.
Yeah, so like they show up and like they come to help Yu, and they're immediately like, I ain't here for you. I'm here for Yu because I trust him more than I trust you. So they already start off by like saying we're not, we ain't buddy. I'm here because the person I actually do respect wanted me here, wanted me to help. And so eventually they do, go and build up on build up on a Toya and actually give him and actually like
respect him.
Yeah, give him respect and respect him. And it's actually a pretty nice scene. But it isn't like immediately like, hey, we're going to just do it because Donji told us to. Right? There's actual animosity in between the cast. And I think that's really great. I think that's really good. And like how you build up the episode. And it's like that's how you should do it. You shouldn't just be like,
oh, we're cool now, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be like, oh, we're cool now. It's like Donji told us to do it. It's like, no, they were like, we ain't here for you. Screw you, dog. And then eventually they got to, be like, okay, we'll be cool with you. Right? Like we'll give you a chance. Right. So I thought that was like a kind of like a really good thing. I think Tamari. I think people kind of like misunderstand. I think Tamari can be cool. I just think they overused her goofiness, or like exerted it a lot. Like she can be goofy, right? That scene that talk she has with Yu is a really good scene. It's just kind of like good scene, and like I feel like there should be more of that going forward instead of her like just gawking into the mic, just like gawking into the mic, about to swallow that thing whole, and just acting crazy. I think I like the part of Tamari where she's actually like, she's goofy, but she's also the adult we know she is. Eternally 17 my ass. It's like, ain't
She's
no...
probably the oldest. She probably is like the oldest person in this cast.
Yeah. What's that? Alright, give me a quick second.
I mean, we'll say this about Tamari's character. She's the only one who actually has energy in like most of these scenes. Someone needs to deliver on the energy in this card game anime. All I'm saying. As a cat's kind of dry. Then you have Tamari here being super energetic. It balances out. Somewhat. Alright.
Yeah, that's actually better to say like okay, sorry, I had to step out to move for a second.
Understandable.
But it's like, I think you said it when you said it originally. It's like, oh, you said it's like it's her energy. She has energy. She just never really, her, she had the energy. She just never had, they just overexerted that energy, I guess you could say. Like, just like,
I guess.
yeah. So that's why it's like, man, some points it's like, yeah, you're obviously like cute girl of the series that isn't Megami, but it's just hard to really to deal with you because you're just so exertive.
I
And
mean, in her defense, she's the character who suffered from the writing the least so far.
that's also true. I think this is the whole thing. Every time like, oh, everyone's connected to Donji, and it's like, no, I think what's ironic is people think like Tamari's the most connected to Donji, but I think it's like she's the least.
Yeah, yeah.
I think just because she's one of the original members, everyone's thinking like, oh, she's been squared up with Donji for the longest time. Like, no, I don't think that's the case. Considering, I think
But
it's
no,
primarily,
Tamari is very much her own character.
yeah, it's pretty much her own character. It's just that she's been mishandled. She's been mishandled. So for most of season one, it's kind of like, well, we we just don't care. I guess. I don't
I
think.
think her thing is she's less in need of an arc than the other characters.
Yeah, she reminds me of she's like that one JRPG character who doesn't really need, who's like shows up and doesn't really need character building, but
I mean, well,
because it's a JRPG and character building is pretty much one of its big jobs, they kind of get sent by the wayside, and
I
you
mean, you
only
can also
like
build.
them, and you only really
I'm
like
gonna
them
make a
if it's
Yu-Gi-Oh
like,
comparison real quick.
yeah,
She's just Ghost Girl. She doesn't need an arc. The
well we
character's fun on their own.
well,
Has neat interactions with the rest of the cast. Just don't give her an arc, please. Things can only go worse from here. Like what happened with Reigns when they gave Ghost Girl an arc. Don't do it. It only gets worse. Like all these Reigns comparisons today. Well, since Zechs is out of commission right now, trying to comprehend what I just said, how's everybody doing?
think something bit my foot or something. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with the I agree with the Ghost Girl thing mostly. I just but yeah, it's like she definitely is a character who like doesn't really need an arc, but she just needs like to do. She just needs to do something,
Right.
instead of just kind of like stand there.
I mean, she's a mentor character done right, and for overdress.
Yeah. Okay. So talk about you. I talked about Tamari. Toya. I think is definitely still the best character in the show,
Easily.
and it's pretty much because he still is just a much better written character. His base character is actually his base like writing is actually like pretty good.
I mean, arguably he probably could have / should have been the main character of this.
Probably, but I think it's like having another like United Sanctuary main character would probably be like, oh god, not again. Now, granted, it'd be like granted, be like an older character, which would be pretty dope, but it's still just like another Royals. Like, come on, how many like main characters have Royal Paladin? I think introducing him more of
One.
and it. I mean, in terms of like the main team, right? Because we had Aichi, then we had Shion, then
Now he's on the main team now.
But I think the difference this time is he's not one. He wasn't the main character. And two, he was technically introduced later, and he wasn't part of the team. And now he's on the team. Like we had a build up to him becoming part of the team, and I think we're okay with that because he's such a more fleshed out character. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Ooh, I saved. So it definitely is I definitely think like Toya is still probably the best written character. I was talking like, oh man, so I think let's go to another like another thing that's been controversial about overdress is more so like the fact that people are like, oh, what about the fights? And to that I say, I don't think anything's really changed in that regard, at least not yet, because like not Mori.
I mean, we know from what Kidani said.
Yeah, we know for Kidani, like Kidani is
came in on the second half specifically.
Yeah, so definitely like the first half stuff is definitely like more so gonna be like old leftovers from the original plan, and then the rest of season 2 is going to change that. Which is,
I mean, I have to say this to people complaining about the fights, and this is gonna be my most controversial take to this stream.
Oh boy.
Arguably. Vanguard fights, you don't want the fights like in 2011 again. I'm sorry. None of you actually want 2011 style fights. You think you do, but you don't.
Dang. Just going right there and fighting. Just fighting wars already, okay.
I'm serious. I want all these people to go back and rewatch 2011, alright? And I want them to imagine 2011 again. But now, truncate it and plan it around 12 episode chunks, alright?
Mm-hmm.
I want them to re-go it and figure out how much airtime this story ratio 12 episodes would get you with those 2011 style fights. If you knew you only had 12 to 13 episodes. You start truncating stuff. A lot of stuff. You don't have time for an audience to come up. Oh my god, look at this. This first turn play, it's so amazing. Well, I agree, Kamui. That was an amazing first turn play, wasn't? Let's go on to turn 2. For 12 episodes. You don't do it. You don't want it. So the characters in OG Season 1 are bland. They don't have time for writing. Alright, well, that's gonna be the end of that rant. I'm gonna cut things off here.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I think overall, I think just overdress season 2 is very. It's going to get. I don't know. I can't. I was about to say it's going to get worse or gets better, but I won't say that. I think just we've gotten worse, literally, from those ratings. But it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I think I think overdress will be okay. I think if
Maybe.
we have more episodes like this, I think we can build more faith in the series again, and that we're not just screwed over. Because I really do, I really do want this show to actually like do well. So,
Right.
just they
I'm
they
more stuck
probably
with overdress for 2 more seasons after this.
yeah.
It kind of has to get better.
Yeah, I just hope like the team takes the feedback. I don't think they need to change everything. I think just need to change just a little bit, and like just focus on like
You actually put Dante on a bus for like the rest of the series.
Senra go get milk.
He's done that 4 times now. What's an actual extended stay game milk going to do?
They didn't have milk at the card shop, so I had to go somewhere else. The HEB next door was out of milk. I had to drive all the way to a different state. So yeah,
I had to leave Japan real quick.
Yeah. So that's my. I think that's my overall thoughts on episode 14. I think it was a much more cohesive episode. A episode that I feel like the siege just started out on, and then you don't have an episode that's like 37%. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know. I mean, this is a way better first episode to start things off on. I arguably probably wouldn't have even done episode 13. Like, in general.
I guess. That's
Then again, I'm kind of worried about episode 15.
I know why.
Because it's directly continuing off of episode 13 story arc. And I don't have the faith in me to be positive about it before it airs. Expectations are kind of at the floor for tomorrow's episode. Oh god, it's airing tomorrow. Yeah. Hope things go better. Hope next episode redeems itself.
Okay. Well, that's something. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about the Build-A-Fide ratings. Well, I guess we could talk about that too. Episode 1 for Build-A-Fide got a worse score. Got like the biggest like mid score out of everything. Got a 29% on 1 for episode 1. Whew. That is
These
something.
ratings are funny.
Yeah,
Build-A-Fide.
They're definitely like more so. It's like we don't know what to think of this show yet. So, it is kind of thing, and I can't. I want to see the ratings for episode 2, and I hope episode 3 is thing because I have I actually like in looking at the ratings for episode 1. people were talking about episode 2, they did actually say like this feels like a 5Ds ripoff a bit,
Alright.
which
I mean, the more I think about it, the less I see 5Ds, and more I see late stage Kakagurui just expanded outside of a school into an entire city.
I
They're
haven't
using poker chips.
I haven't seen Kakaguri yet, so don't spoil me on
Just
that.
check it
That's on
out.
the list. That's on the list. You know,
I recommend if you like extreme amounts of gambling and gambling accessories.
okay, so any other?
Being on both device ratings.
No, I haven't. I think we're good with having those.
Yeah.
So, any other final thoughts you want to say before we kind of close
Uh,
it out here?
Not real. Well, I guess I'll say one thing. Go check out Megaton Musashi, everyone. Best mecha anime airing right now. It's not card game related, but go check it out.
So you're just gonna show a whole different series on the pack. Okay.
Yes, I am.
What's the TLDR? The TLDR is you're late. You the only mod in the entire chat.
And you're late.
You're supposed to be working here. Nah, I'm just kidding. TLDR is the TLDR is watch the VOD on YouTube.
Wow. I mean, it's kind of hard to summarize.
Now the TLDR is we talked about Veil Divide, our initial impressions, overall thoughts is it has potential, but it could like mess up at any moment if it doesn't happen. Overdress 13 in a vacuum is fine, but in at least for me, but outside vacuum it is kind of well not as harsh as I'm not as harsh as like Zeno was. It pretty much was probably the one of the weakest episodes of Vanguard's anime. Episode 14 is okay. That's basically TLDR, TLDW, or TLDL. You know, too long didn't listen. Important anime question. What is it?
I'm kind of interested.
What do we think this new Ricardo?
Reboot. We're just gonna do the Shaman King 2020 thing. Yep, just reboot. That's what's gonna be.
Watch it. I mean,
I
I'll
mean,
probably
I'd
watch
watch
it
it too,
too.
actually.
I read the do my I have my Shonen Jump manga volumes here. At least like I had some of them, but it's like I definitely which reminds me I did buy like a bunch of like I bought a couple of manga earlier, but on oh yeah they're on my bookshelf. I had like a bunch of like Hikaru no Go like the you know that those big like multi multi chapters of Shonen Jump where it's like you had you know back in the elementary school or something where you used to get like oh here's a Shonen Jump like whole magazine where you just got a chapter of Naruto, chapter of One Piece, chapter of Bleach, chapter of Hikaru no Go, chapter of some other manga. In fact I think my favorite one I've read so much was the one that had the a Rurouni Kenshin one shot. I've read it so much like some of some of the cover actually is falling off because I just brought it with me everywhere I went. You know, going to school because I just kept reading the manga over and over again. But like, yeah, I'd be cool if in Hikaru no Go got another series. I'd definitely be down for that.
It's the right time for it to make another series.
Yeah, which
It's another mahjong anime.
I'd be cool with that. Which I know it sound like a slight tangent before we get out of here. I definitely I bought 2 volumes of manga for the first time in a while. I bought okay.
Look, Akagi is godlike.
Now that I'm seeing
Saki
this,
is something. But how much more mahjong manga anime series do we need?
let me actually, can I like? Now I have like.
They're not gonna be better than what we already have.
Okay, I had to like do that. No one was talking in chat for so long. I couldn't really like change the updates. Man. So yeah, but like I bought two manga volumes like was it yesterday or a couple days ago. I bought volume 30 of Attack on Titan because that's like my favorite, probably like the best, probably the last that's probably might be a hot take, but it's probably the last volume in which just like every chapter was a hit to me. Like it was just such a good volume. I feel like I just want to keep reading it again, so I just bought it because it's just a really good section. It's like 119 to 122, which is like to a lot of people was like the last great arc before the ending. So so I was like, and it has some of my favorite chapters in it. Actually, all of them my favorite chapters. So I bought that, and then I bought Persona 5, the manga adaptation. And I bought volume 7. It's the only one I have. And I bought it because, spoilers, who want to read the Persona 5 manga, it actually starts to retcon itself into being a royal adaptation. Like, Volume 6 had, I looked at Volume 6, like, Volume 6 didn't have any royal content, but it had, like, images of, Sumi in the, in, like, the little, like, extra, like, artwork from, like, the artist of the manga. Matt, if Royal actually gets a Steam port, I probably will just stream that all, so you could just watch it there. to be like, okay, it's cool. But like, yeah, Volume 7. It's so long. I mean, I'll do it.
Persona games should be shorter.
I mean, I'll do it. I don't care. It's still one of my favorite games. I'm not as crazy as the other Persona 5 fans, quote unquote. Hey, I'll do it for Haru. I will do it just for Haru alone.
Like, each of Persona games compared to Shin Megami Tensei. There's so much fluff.
And it's nothing. Boy, I played Trails, dog. You want to talk about bloat?
Yeah. I mean, Trails at least has gameplay and it's bloat.
You say that. I mean, it has gameplay, but it costs like literally slowing down the story.
That's fine.
I don't know.
SMT games are just kill it. Here's a list of things. Kill all of them. You ran out of things to kill? Kill God. Kill God's servants. That's the entire game. We don't need a story. We just need things to kill.
I mean, I don't know. Considering a kill concepts, I don't know. Considering that Cold Steel 2, which is a spoiler for you, is literally let's stop in the middle of the Civil War to go find a cat.
Okay, that's bad. Kill concepts. Kill Stephen Hawking. Kill Stephen Hawking again.
Oh god. Okay.
Stephen Hawking is Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, I've heard apparently. Which is like what? All right. I think that is everything we got we got here? Any other final things you want to say? I mean, you already said it, but
I mean, I already said go watch Megaton Musashi. I'm gonna say it again right now.
all right, yeah. So, where can people find you?
Oh, they can find me on twitch.tv/ZenonborgVT. I stream whenever. I have no schedule. I don't know what I'm streaming until the day of. Just be there. Alright?
Just be there. Okay. And
That's the only thing you gotta do.
all right. And you don't want to send out your Twitter because you're scared of the people finding you in demon time. But
my Twitter is boring right now.
Maybe we should actually do something about that. Speaking of, my Twitter is at RedFangZechs. I mostly talk about Vanguard there, as well as fighting games. I will probably, depending on what I need to do tomorrow, I'll probably do a short either Guilty Gear stream to test out what the heck they did with the update, or I might do just a training mode thing in Melty Blood. Speaking of which, I probably should have some outro music so we can get out of here. Yeah, that's cool. So, probably tomorrow or Thursday, doing a Guilty Gear or Melty Blood stream. Either just doing some training mode, learning what characters got and whatnot, getting back to use to Guilty Gear. I haven't played it in almost a month. And then Melty Blood, I will probably just do a practice stream regardless. It'll probably be a practice stream regardless, and just chill out. Either tomorrow if I have time, because tomorrow's the issue of tomorrow's like a weird thing. Mondays are usually weird. This is why you don't really see me stream Mondays, even though I probably would do a lot better on Mondays. Monday or Tuesday. And then you can find that on here on twitch.tv/rfzechs, rf_zechs, excuse me. There was also a first to 10 I uploaded on YouTube, which you can find at youtube.com/ just search up Red Fang Zechs, and I posted the first to 10 between me and a friend in Melty Blood Time Lumina, and you can watch that and watch two bad players fight each other. That was probably like the first editing job I've actually done on a YouTube video or a video in general since probably like early middle school, late elementary school. So yeah, enjoy seeing if I'm actually seeing a janked VOD that had to cut over because of Twitch getting hacked. So.
Oh, that was a fun 2 days.
Shut up, no, it wasn't. Anyway, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. So, where's the stream ending? Alright then, so, with that being said, thank y'all for coming. We will see y'all next time. When the next time is, we don't know. Have a
In
good...
any case, arrivederci and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.